my ex-teammates, but this is definitely a grudge match if you've ever seen one. NA Dota, South America Dota, combining in one team to take on the Western European powerhouse that has just destroyed the DPC season this year. An underdog, a champion, but only one of them continues, and one of them will go home today.
This is absolutely, I mean, everybody is setting this up. It's a David versus Goliath matchup. The North American and South American group is definitely the underdogs against the three-time major winners. But Nouns were also, once upon a time, looked as the third best team in North America. And then they took down all of their competition back to the NADPC. They ran right through it, and they have now proclaimed themselves the best North American team. And maybe they could do much, much more by being able to bring down what was once the best Western European team.
And if any team has insider info, it's going to be Nouns, right? I mean, you have Les Lau out here. He's played with Quinn. They've been on the same team before. He knows how he wants to play, knows how he wants to abuse this mid lane, and that's been one of the secrets to Gaimin success all year. How do you deal with the support rotations? How do you deal with the mid lane matchups? Can you shut down the side laners while all of that's happening at the same time? And this is another Gaimin lineup that is driven to go high ground early if you give them a start. Chen, Tidehunter, these are two of the heroes they've gone back to. We saw that Necroban as well just to get the trifecta out of there. You give them a lead at 20 minutes, they're going to be pushing tier 3 very fast. You have illusion heroes, you have a Furion, you can stall this map. Can you stalwart the tempo that comes out from Gaimin and get yourself into that mid late game where you can shine? Because you have Earth Spirit, you have Brewmaster, these are heroes that have won Nouns so many mid late games, as long as you can get there in one piece.
We're going to start off Nouns needing to be able to win this early lane, and starting off with the first blood. Seleri is going to go down. Gunnar will clean it up with a boulder from downtown. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, we also have a fight on the other bounty rune where they are going to be able to get a kill. So it is a trade-off. Nouns do manage to get the first blood, particularly for their mid laner is very important. That'll help in this mid matchup. Gunnar versus Quinn, a matchup that we have seen time and time and time again. It used to be in the NADPC all the time. Quinn making a name for himself as one of the best laners in North America, and then became one of the best laners in the world. And Gunnar was always kind of in his shadow.
These are players that have studied under each other. Like you said, played against each other a lot. They played against Sumail a lot too. So if you're going to learn from somebody, become the next protege in that sense. These are the two guys who have been there and are willing to do it. I will say Quinn has gotten the better of Gunnar in a lot of these lane matchups, right? And if you're Nouns, you go into here, you're kind of expecting Quinn to win the lane. That's not a big deal. What the bigger question is what happens after that. And I think Gunnar has shown that, sure, you can win the lane against him. He's going to get one of his signature heroes. He's going to pop off, and he's going to dictate the mid game a lot more than you are. They knew the Pango was coming as well. They know it's not a real hero, so they know this matchup's not a real matchup. It's just a matter of who imaginarily gets out of it more. I think Gunnar's going to show up today.
I mean, that's the great part about Gunnar, right? Is that this is a player who I think Nouns buck a lot of trends, and one of them is definitely the fact that Gunnar is the player out of all the teams in the top 8, the mid laner who will take the least amount of farm, and he will just try and make plays happen as early as possible. He is a tempo player. He once told me when he was playing on in Southeast Asia with the Jinnabrews team, he told me, I don't care deaths. I do not care deaths. I only want to make plays happen, and there's a play right there. Seleri finds an opening, being able to kill Lelis. Now, it did cost dyrachyo had to run down the river quite heavily to be able to find that. Moo was free farming during the meantime, but it does kind of set the tempo here of Gaimin Gladiators are looking for kills, and they will catch you out if you tread a little bit too far away from the lane. You see Yamsun under a bit of pressure there under the Tidehunter Grimstroke play.
Dyrachyo's going to cost him a lot. I mean, this is a great start for Seleri, though, and I want to highlight the Chen in this game, because that 20-minute victory Gaimin had with Chen, it was all Seleri, right? He dominated the safe lane, rotated mid, ganked that lane twice. That tower died at 8 minutes. Game just imploded. So if you give him a fast start on one of his signature, jungle heroes out here, you're going to have auras up, you're going to have the pace. And you don't have a lot of outspam or tower defense. That's the one downside of the lineup for Nouns. They really want to take these skirmishes around the ults, particularly between the Brew and the Earth Spirit here. That's why the XP might be more important for them than the CS. You're talking about they don't care deaths. I mean, deaths determine XP. Pauses determine a mental state.
And unfortunately, we're going to take a little bit more time to figure out all the issues here. Is this NA Dota? Well, a lot of pauses.
Yeah, they didn't host this game on US West.
I mean, K1 Hector, he's like, I'm used to this. This is every single game for me.
I mean, I think Hector's confused because he probably has negative ping compared to what he's normally.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This man is always working on at least 90. The shackles are off, and K1 Hector has shown it in addition to Nouns, who has done a lot of work for them. When you come to this idea that Gunnar is going to be taking very little farm off the map. He wants to be making plays. He wants to find openings, find kills, set the tempo of the game aggressively. You need somebody to be able to pick up the farm game. And really, nobody better than K1 Hector. You talk about the player who takes the least from their position. Now you're looking at the player who takes the most from their position. K1 Hector is by far the biggest farmer in this tournament.
I mean, there's a reason Hector communicates the way he communicates. Right? We've all been in a pub with Hector. Well, I say all of us. I mean, these guys haven't.
We've been
Let me
there,
tell
yeah.
you. Yeah, Hector, he just screams on the comms the entire game, give me mana, give me salves, give me stacks.
Yep.
Stop feeding and I'll carry.
That 100% K1 Hector, stop feeding, stop feed, and I'll carry. That's exactly what that's his vision of the game. Is he is a hard carry player. And there's a reason why he says it. It's true. If you stop feeding, this man will carry games. He knows how to do it in the late game.
Can you bounce it out? Can you make him work? That's the interesting about these two teams as well. They had these additions that they brought into the rest of the four. Hector for Nouns, Quinn for Gaming, and it's changed the dynamic of the team, right? It creates another threat they can play around that gives the team a lot of vision, a lot of purpose in the game. And if you make these players succeed, they will indeed carry you in a lot of these clutch situations. Hector on a Terrorblade, that is a nasty combination. We've seen him be, I think, most proactive on the Chaos Knight, right? But this is a hero that functions very similarly. He can control the map, dictate when he wants to fight. So if he's the most farmed hero going into 30, 40 minutes, you have a decent chance to just shred the front line of Gaming here, unless they already have the auras up. Still, a lot of it coming down to this mid battle, and damn it, is it close. Within 2 CS here for Gunnar going into Quinn.
Yeah, and he's got a creep wave coming underneath tower, so if he gets these last hits, which he does with a quick kick, he'll be able to actually secure a CS lead over Quinn. Bottom lane, though, dyrachyo is going to be in some trouble. Moo, seeing the opening, Yamsun's going to make the rotation. They'll collect not one, but 2 kills in the bottom lane.
Just as I was about to say, where is this Furion going to rotate? Because the mid rotation looks hard if Quinn is this high HP on a mobility hero. You also have to keep in mind when you leave this Terrorblade alone, he's going to get punished, but that is exactly what you're looking for in this early game. Quick rotation into the double kill, shut dyrachyo's tempo carry down on this Weaver. Not a hero that likes to play from behind, and just gobble up that experience on the side lane. If you're Nouns, your next biggest priority in this game is probably 6-minute power rune, 7-minute wisdom rune. You get all of those for your 2 supports, you're going to be in a really solid position to contest these tower pushes when they come with the Tide Hunter Meteor Hammer and the Chen grouping up. We'll see if these supports continue to make moves. It's also going to come down to Seleri, whether he wants to try and rotate top or mid on this Chen. A hero that can do similar things.
Meta going to be popped here. So damage thrown back the way of Gaimin Gladiators, but honestly, they walk away from that. Not too damaged at all. So meta popped, no kill found. I would say a small victory for Gaimin Gladiators whenever that happens.
Still waiting for Seleri's rotation, though. He just feels pressure to stay bottom on dyrachyo, given the ice armor. This isn't a lane they dominated, which means the Chen's going to have to linger down here maybe longer than we saw in some of those other Chen games from them. Honestly, this feels like a solid start for Nouns outside of, I mean, Moo is struggling, and Moo is continuing to struggle down here. It is a hero in the Brewmaster that can operate with XP alone, but damn, is he poor. He's going to have to make it up in some of these fights.
Yeah, Lee just now getting that earned. So those kills they got earlier, not really worth as much. Yamsun going to be in some trouble here. Underneath his own trees, he's going to teleport away. Ace cannot complete the kill. He walks away, damage done, but the damage on a Furion really doesn't mean that much, considering the fact this hero can just TP right back out to lane.
I mean, the thing is he used teleportation instead of the scroll, so he actually can't make a real move off this. He's just going to refill mid. So give up some breathing room to Gaming, and I mean, their cores are starting to take over the lanes right now. You got to keep in mind this Meteor Hammer on the Tide will eventually kick Hector out of top. This Weaver Brew matchup is very good. So now I'm looking at Gunnar, right? You get 6-minute power rune here. You have Magnetize up. You have a lot of potential in the tank to get a good fight out of this first ult on the Earth Spirit, especially with how much Gunnar did on this mid lane. He's 500 net worth up on Quinn at 6 minutes. This is a crazy net worth differential for a player we're used to seeing just win the one-on-ones.
I mean, that Earth Spirit laning phase, this hero does so much with that Boulder Smash. They're going to go for the power runes here. and it is going to be top. So, haste rune for Quinn, big pickup. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Moo's going to take a little bit of aggro here from dyrachyo, and not much Moo can do to fight back, particularly in a 1v2, but up against Frost Armor and his Harpy. In fact, Moo may have stayed a little bit too long. The Lotus might be able to keep him alive. We'll see whether or not dyrachyo wants to complete it, and he does manage to get that kill. Seleri picks it up with a bit of lightning. dyrachyo is going to take a lot of damage on his way out, but managed to dodge the brambles pretty smoothly there.
And that's Javelin Rush. So this is aggressive build for dyrachyo, abusing the fact he has Ice Armor and some extra Chen regen. Just maxing up the DPS straight into the Maelstrom here, trying to punish Moo as much as possible with the opening they've created. And damn, some good creeps for Seleri, right? You cannot ask for anything better out of the jungle early.
Seriously, yeah.
Is this going to allow him to make some aggressive moves as he wants to? 7-minute with the rune will not be contested here, but it will get split. So okay news for Nouns. I think they had a possibility of getting two. You always have it with the Furion, but Yamsun looking for a bigger prize.
They know they're going for the 7-minute wisdom rune, which leaves Ace alone. Yamsun's going to try and take advantage of that with the meta still halfway through. If they can just body block him a little bit, that's going to be enough. With this scan, they saw the Grimstroke. Okay, he's picking up the 7-minute wisdom rune. Let's make a play in this top lane. A big kill. Even bigger if they can get dyrachyo as well, but Seleri, he's going to try and stop this. In fact, they push damage back onto Moo. A teleport coming in now as Gunnar's going to make his first rotation out, but it looks like he may be a bit late unless he really wants to dive the tower. But he doesn't want to throw away that net worth lead he has.
Only 2 points in the rolling boulder, not low cooldown enough to convert on the kill, so that'll be another missed opportunity for Gunnar. Still trying to put this magnetize to use.
Quinn's going to make use of his haste rune he picked up earlier. Yamsun, who just wanted to be able to get a little bit of levels. Gunnar rolls in, tries to save his support, and that's going to be enough. Quinn checks out the other direction. 8-minute power rune, though, is coming up, and both teams are going to be fighting for it. The fighting continues in the side lanes as well.
They really want this Weaver bottom before the time lapse comes out. This is when dyrachyo is still susceptible in this lane. You have so much nuke damage. You want the urn charge.
Hit it with the blood grenade. He's got stick charges. Nice silence. Coming out, the support from tOfu might just be enough to change this fight. dyrachyo, final hit comes in. So they do trade out cores.
And they get a lot of the Chen creeps off this, honestly.
Oh, Yamsun, he's got no teleport and no TP scrolls. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 in that regard.
So you traded Chen creeps and the Weaver for 2 on the side of Nouns. You did get an urn charge off the death for Moo, so a little extra potential there off the max Cinder build. The lanes are going to start to build up here, and I mean, Seleri, he got so much out of that bottom, man. This Chen is
look at this rotation. Ravage straight up into the Meteor Hammer with the supports coming in from behind. They can silence him and make sure there's no chance of getting off a Sunder.
I'm surprised Hector lingered this long up here. He'd already thrown out the Sunder. I mean, this is a hammer tide, a tough lane to stand on when he has the mana for the Ravage. Connection's just too easy here. Now you're gonna get the pressure of the tower. Can Hector come back this lane? Probably not still, unless Nouns are willing to rotate more cores up here, which you could do as you're still holding on to this magnetize on Gunnar. He's just not found the opportunity to use it.
Oh, he really hasn't. dyrachyo, he'll accept the Curse Crown stun, which is going to set up into Gunnar. Now, he's already popped the Shikuchi, but he does have time lapse, and they don't have enough control. And Moo doesn't have his level 6 yet. He is just a little bit away, but is not going to be able to get it. Meanwhile, Quinn, very efficient use of his Arcane Rune in that play, as he managed to come down here, get a kill with that Arcane Rune, has his abilities back up. They are definitely beginning to get a bit of a lead here on Gaimin Gladiators, which is scary for Nouns because they haven't even taken any towers yet, which it is coming. Chen and a Meteor Hammer, you're almost guaranteed as Gaimin Gladiators to have a tower lead in the next 5 minutes.
And the Roshan threat, very high in this game with the Swarm plus the minus armor. Chen's gonna give you with a fast Solar Crest here. Gush on top of it, Pangolier coming through with Lucky Shot. It's another one of those tempo lineups that can just decimate you with the armor differential here. So yeah, you give these small openings, they're going to run away with it. Hector did manage to go top and defend that tower at least, so you're going to repel some of the speed Ace was coming out with here.
Yeah, but as he shows himself immediately as smoke up, not only they secured the 10-minute power rune, but if Quinn can connect here, it would be massive for Gaimin Gladiators.
Sunder coming back up. 3 seconds on the cooldown is now up for Hector, so there's turnaround potential on this play. If you cannot burst him here, it could go really wrong.
They're going to get on top of him. Silence and the stuns. K1 Hector doesn't really have much help coming in. They're going to use the Rolling Thunder. Last bit of damage required is going to have to come from Quinn, but they do manage to get off the Sunder onto the support. Yamsun is going to be sacrificed to keep K1 Hector alive, and he will have to TP back all the way back to the fountain, so it's not even like base out of that. Meanwhile, though, dyrachyo did die in the bottom lane, the first use of the split from the Brewmaster, and they're also going to get that tower.
Just got run down. off the root from Lelis, and this is going to result in a very fast tier 1 out of nowhere that was on a safe lane Gaming we're doing pretty well in, right? So this is a lot of catch-up farm for Mu, putting the first ult to pretty good use here, extra XP.
And he's going to catch up even more if he can complete that Hand of Midas pretty soon.
Oh, I mean, you get the Midas here for Mu, I think you're really happy with how this early game ended up, considering of how much pressure that lane was creating on you. Just got to turn it around, big core kill into the tower, into an acceleration item. Yeah, you're really happy with that, especially if you can use this next Brule to defend mid.
Yeah, the question is that too greedy, right? Because you know Gaimin Gladiators are going to be putting a lot of pressure on you in this next 10 to 15 minutes.
There's some truth there, right? Like, you're giving up an early fighting item to go for this Midas, and you know the tower pressure is going to come fast. I mean, you go in and Midas a Chen creep and say, I did my part, team.
Underneath tower, but it may not matter. Good terrorize, though, coming out from Lelis. This may buy Gunnar some time to get more magnetized stacks onto Quinn. Nails him with the next rolling bobo as he tries to swashbuckle away. Locked in, though, by tOfu. Great spellbound, and they're going to be able to catch him in
the hammer.
Into the hammer. The chain stuns are real, but Gunnar is somehow still alive, and he's
going in.
With the magnetize, he's going to chase after tOfu. tOfu gets the armor room. What a turnaround for him. The luck of the gods showing up just in time. Lelis trying to finish off this support and walk away while K1 Hector is feasting on heroes right now. He shows up last of the fight, but he will claim lives here. Oh, Ace actually not too afraid. He's going to try and get this meteor hammer in time, but Yamsun's already teleported away. The tower survives for now, but damage is done, and Ace is still here with that meteor hammer.
Did clean up some Chen creeps. I mean, very good shield rune on the end for Gaming, and Ace just powering through with the damage in this fight. That is an absurd amount of damage for a Tidehunter to be doing at 12 minutes in this engagement. You can show how much, I mean, it shows how much Nouns want to defend this mid tower, and you can't blame him. You hold this tower for another couple ults, it secures a lot of your map, buys Hector time. There's just no way to stop it. It is inevitable. Ace is inevitable, as he has been all season long. He will push himself to the top of the board here, having a tremendous Tidehunter game. And he's going to become an issue because you don't really have direct burst damage or stack building heroes to take him down. There's a lot he can dispel in this game between the Dark Willow, the Magnetize. You can toss him in the air and take the fight 5-on-4. That is a route Nouns can think about going, but for now, Ace is going to be a brick wall.
A brick wall that is particularly important for Gaimin Gladiators, as much of their success throughout the season has been based around him and his playstyle, which that did become weaker with some changes in the game, but it seems like Gaimin Gladiators have maybe found a position for Ace to really take over the game.
That hit.
Again, nice hit with the terrorize, lined it up into the stun. Gunnar easily has the control to bring down the Weaver.
And this is going to be Nouns' biggest target the whole game. Dyrachyo, we've seen him on this Weaver before, right? He has some bad deaths, but this is also a hero that's very susceptible once you start getting killed once. It just starts rolling. That's a 4th death for the Gaming carry on a hero that ideally will give them Roshan and a siege mechanism at a certain point. Still level 9 on the Weaver at 14 minutes. He is falling behind in XP. Nouns got a few more cheeky kills on him. This is a way to just bump your supports up, help you take those tower defense fights.
Yeah, who cares if they're taking all your towers if their hard carry is still poor and cannot outmatch the Terrorblade. Try to roll in, Quinn. Invisibility, and managed to sidestep that boulder coming across. He's going to get some information out here, though they do seem to know he's here. Can they bait him in somehow? They're afraid there's more behind him, so they're just going to back out.
This is your defusal timing on the Pango. Ravage back up for Ace. He's a little bit off the blink, but it did prompt a smoke from Gaming to push into the Nouns triangle. However, they vacated it. For whatever reason, they knew it was coming. However, they're just going to run it back. Ace trying to control both jungles right now. Without a blink, this initiation's a little difficult. Will Hector see it coming? The tree line.
If they get around, just around this corner and find him, maybe it's possible. Slow him down. Get on top of him with the Inks while the Ravage are going to go out. Big burst damage and no mana and silence. Too much for Hector to deal with here.
Really nice connection. Just enough reach.
The worst part for Nouns is they were making a smoke move at the same time, so.
Yeah, they were looking for Ace. Try and preemptively read this. This is why Hector was there in the first place. Almost gets baited by the own move. And hey, 15 minutes, we're already pushing a tier 2 with Chen to back it up on the Skelly boys, adding their aura.
I think this is the part that I love about this matchup. I feel like Nouns and Gaimin Gladiators have both bucked the trends when it comes to the heroes and strategy of this tournament. Nouns certainly have their own list of heroes that I think are special to them. Meanwhile, Gaimin Gladiators, I mean, playstyle-wise, everybody's going like 50, 60 minutes in these games, but Gaimin Gladiators, they're ending games at 25 sometimes.
This is a team that does not care what anybody else is doing right now.
Yeah.
They're going to speed it up. And like you said, both these teams, I think, are two of the faster teams this tournament. They're happy to just take these fights, win it in the mid game. If it goes late, I mean, they always have a backup plan.
Sure.
And I feel like Hector is probably the better backup plan here, but man, we've seen Weaver scale a lot harder than he used to in a lot of these matchups, especially when you have a bunch of Auras and Tidehunter and Chen behind you. And there's also just not a huge amount of control for Pangolier in the late game. That's one of the things. I mean,
Yeah.
we saw Steenie talk about they knew this Pango was coming. I feel like everybody knew it was coming. Can you stop it anyway?
Magnetize builds up, kills not only the Chen, but also...
That's pretty value. Honestly, very value here. Every time you take Seleri off the map, you're slowing Gaming down. You're slowing down the next objective. Huge amount of gold into Gunnar's pocket. Frees up the map. And I mean, Gaming were just split, right? We're talking about them abusing the fact they have a very strong ball. They were waiting for this Ravage to be back up. Rare misstep will cost them some time, and that is time for Hector to get the lanes out, or at least attempt to.
He kind of has to, otherwise they're going to lose too much control over Roshan. The next objective for Gaimin Gladiators on the list. They have a 3,000 net worth lead. They could take away this last remaining tower. They're going to have really good control of the Roshan pit, and you said they've got a great team to take it too.
It's just a race to the teamfight items. You're looking for Radiance on Mu, give you that huge AoE damage in the fight, but you're also looking for these big auras on Gaming in the pipe on Seleri and the BKB on dyrachyo. That's a very big item for them as well. We'll make sure that they can man up in this Roche pit, deal with the Terrorize, deal with Tornado, all these AoE spells that Nouns are trying to throw on the Weaver. Pretty much useless, and you don't have the physical to burst him yet. If Mu can get this Radiance untouched, I think you have a decent shot contested.
Yeah, but he's about to be ganked. Ace is going to jump forward with that Blink Dagger. Anchor already locking him down, trying to see if he can land the Meteor, and he does manage to with a Swashbuckle to follow it up. They've got this kill. Mu is going to find his Radiance delayed even further. You saw we have 3 different cores on Nouns that are all trying to get that next big item, but the pressure is mounting from Gaimin Gladiators.
And it's just Gunnar who's really getting there. Looking for Heart on the Earth Spirit. I mean, he is massive. He still had a tremendous game here, 3-1, pretty much untouched. But all this objective gold is just making his net worth not look as effective as he wanted to, so he still just wants to fight. Gunnar wants to slay here, give him an opportunity, set it up.
But how do you fight into this 5-man ball that's coming your way from Gaimin Gladiators?
I mean, you have to take the tower defense or the Roche contest. It's one of those two, which means every time you give a pick off like that Brewmaster, you miss one of those opportunities right now.
Right.
So Gunnar, he wants to push into this Heart and take a fight immediately after. Also, you're rushing towards this Ags on the Pangolier. A lot of extra damage and takeability coming out, and you don't have Rolling Thunder control. So this Axe is gonna do work if you let Quinn get to it for free here.
Oh, jump onto the 2 of them with the double Ravage, with the Meteor. What an opportunity from Ace. Just like that, cutting 2 down right in front of your tier 3. What? Who needs a Roshan?
Yeah, Roshan be damned. You died in a bad part of the map to die on right now, as Mu is struggling to get to this Relic. An early Glyph as well is just gonna open up this entire lane. Solar Crest and Pipe done for Seleri. This Chen is massive right now. Do you have the damage to take this fight? You're almost like all magic oriented.
Yeah. His tier 3 is going to be forfeited before they even get their heroes back up. They still need another 5 for the Brewmaster to get here, but Gaimin Gladiators will relent. They say, okay, we just did some serious economic damage to you, being able to kill 2 of your heroes. Once again, that Radiance is delayed. We've taken more and more property off the map, and now we could just go back to farming our side lanes again.
And the team items are just rolling in, right? I mean, Hector, at this point, he might be asking his team to please slow the game down. Just let me get to Scotty. We can take a good engagement, because right now, it's a lot to punch through. You give Ace another big team fight item here, and you're going to have to abuse buybacks at a certain point. You need some extra firepower. Ato's done for Lelis, looking for the extra setup. Another big smoke, but you just got pushed in really deep in your base. Gaming got obs in your base as well, so these moves are very telegraphed right now. Hector's just, he struggled to get these lanes in deep.
Yeah, big difference between, I would say, K1 Hector and his Terrorblade play and dyrachyo. I mean, dyrachyo would be running down lanes constantly. He would die sometimes for it, but he would achieve some space. K1 Hector playing a lot more conservatively, trying to protect his own net worth. And it does result in some lane problems here. They're going to go ahead and deal with the Tormentor, pick up a little bit of extra gold for one of their supports here. Almost killing Yamsun, but Lelis is going to be the pickup.
Not a bad shard to get if you can make it work in the fight. Decent net worth for him.
Yeah.
Still looking for this Radiance on Mu. That's going to be the big one for Nouns. I mean, they're finishing up that Scotty and Heart between the 2 other cores, so they're really ready to gun it here. contest that Roshan, which still hasn't been claimed by Gaimin. If you can do that, you can turn a lot of this momentum around, put Gaimin in an awkward position where the high ground just doesn't look that appetizing, and then what are you doing on the map, right? What are you using with all these auras for? It's just a race to this 21, 22-minute mark. Are you fast enough if you're Nouns? Are you willing to even contest this? Scotty done. It's on a pretty damn good timing here. Man, Hector, he's big. This is where you want it all to align and just have it work for you. But Gaimin, they're just too fast here. You're not here in time. Early momentum, just the extra gold from the tier 3, the tier 2s that they claimed. It's going to propel them into this Roche for free. Who are you going to give it to? Give it to the real hero.
They are going to give it to the real hero. Pango's going to take it. Level 15, just picked up a shard as well, so he's going to be tough to combat in these fights. He's going to get in there with his Rolling Thunder, and
it's a lot of damage.
Tons of damage. Just a question of whether or not Nouns can find that opening, right? Ace gets the anchor. Really good tool to be able to lock down these mobile cores. Earth Spirit's going to take some damage here, but nobody's rotating on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. They're just trying to scare him back because they're still making this move in bottom lane. Dyrachyo wants to keep the pressure up here. They still have this last remaining tier 2 in the bottom lane.
You just want to stall. Cut as many lanes as possible. Stall this push as long as possible to put Hector in the best position to take that high ground defense fight when Gaimin will likely force the issue.
Yeah.
And just go in, try and... I mean, your burst is just so bad. That's the one downside. But you do have kickback here. And this is great lane cutting. This is going to put Gaimin in a position where you're losing some gold to force these plays. And if this high ground goes wrong, we've seen it go very wrong in this meta.
They're actually going to skip past this tier 2 because they want the pressure in here as quick as possible. Now, Lelis is going to be in some trouble here with the Inkswell coming in from the Weaver. Caught by the Brambles, though. They have the Meteor Hammer. Lots of AoE damage. He gets off the Terrorize, but actually a roll-up from Quinn dodges that fear, and they immediately put the damage onto the ranged barracks. Melee's going to be dying soon. Nouns, they're missing their timing. They still don't have that Radiance on the Brewmaster. They're not quite ready to take this engagement, and Gaimin Gladiators are going to punish them for it. In fact, they're going to chase after Moo. Has to use the primal split. Otherwise, there was danger of him being locked down, but his Brew may be dying immediately. This last Brewling, it's in trouble. It's going to be chased down. He's gone. He's dead. It doesn't even matter if he has buyback if you don't have the primal split.
Still doesn't have the Radiance. That's your level 2 ult down in a flash before Hector was even willing to come back. This might just be another... I mean, the waves did get cut. That's the one upside here. So you're defending the base through the backdoor protection. But damn, you still have 3 minutes on this Aegis. You're just giving up too many core pickoffs here. The lead's not growing, but the momentum is.
Yeah, eventually a wave is going to be protected, and Gaimin Gladiators will put damage on those buildings once again. You have to come up with a team fight somehow. Eventually, you cannot concede all of these buildings, but Gaimin Gladiators are giving no space to breathe whatsoever. A kick away, that's not good enough. The chain set of the Rolling Thunder is a problem for Gunnar, and even stopping by to be able to stop the damage from K1 Hector. They stun him up, and then they retreat. They say meta has been used. Let's go ahead and make sure we have the spacing. We don't get caught too much like Quinn, who may be in trouble here, does have the Aegis, so this is just going to be his first life. Not a big deal, especially if he can get kills out of it. Moo and K1 Hector limping along, forced to use the Sunder here onto Ace, but they just do not seem to have the damage to threaten these heroes. Meanwhile, Nouns are dropping like flies out here.
I mean, that's such a fast Shivas from Ace. Just gets it on everybody. This attack speed aura really hurting Hector right now. Who has the damage, but not the speed to get through it. And a second lane at 24 minutes. Now,
and the only saving grace for Nouns is if they can get Hector out of here. They have this tier 2 up, but maybe it's not even needed. If the carry dies here, they might just be able to go straight for the throne. Lelis trying to limp back to the fountain. Will be able to make it. The cores, they're going to have to use some buybacks here. A kill on dyrachyo would be crucial to holding, and Nouns do manage to get that much.
Gotta get more.
Gunnar chasing after him, doing what he can, but afraid of the turnaround. Yamsun's going to try and lend him support here. Sets it up with the Sprout into the rolling boulder. Do they have enough stuns to control this Pango? A silence fall went up, and they do manage to get him 2 cores on the side of Gaimin Gladiators as they overstep themselves, daring to tread close to the staircase of the fountain.
Those are big kills, almost 3,000 gold total, so at least you're getting something on the backswing. But like you said, still just not a entire team fight put together for Nouns, right? We haven't seen it the whole game between the Radiance Brew, which is still not just finished, by the way.
Final.
Thank God, I don't have to pray for it anymore. But now you have Radiance Brew online. You have to get these ults in sync. That's been the biggest problem. Ace is just continuously forcing the issue before you're ready to take that straight 5-on-5. I mean, he instantly put that Shivas to use on the back end, and if you don't have all 5 heroes there, you lack the damage right now. That's been
just
the
the
biggest
difference
crux.
in net worth despite the Midas pickup between Moo and Ace.
I mean, Moo and Seleri at this point, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Chen accelerating these games. Zero benefits so much from these Raxes going down because it just sets you up for an entire other team item. Vlad's done as well, buffing up the damage here across the board. This is where this hero is absolutely terrifying, and looking down the barrel of Megas, it's going to be a hero you're thinking about game 2 no matter what. Because once he gets to control the game like this, it just throws you into a tough position. Going to look for a core pickoff of their own.
Big if they can get it. The Inkswell is going to be able to help out Quinn. He rolls up, turns around now with the Rolling Thunder, and it's going to be Nouns who are now on the retreat. Caught by the Soulbind. Does manage to get out the Primal Split, though, and thanks to Gunnar's hearts, he does have plenty of HP. Caught here on the river, but do they really want to go for the Tidehunter first? He is untouchable.
Absolutely invincible at this point, and Ace knows that this is not even a fight Hector showed up to.
He's going to chase after Moog here, see if he can get him.
Dyrachyo on the
with
back.
the anchor on his way out. Now the real Brewmaster is revealed. They do manage to jump on Dyrachyo here. Can they turn this around? The BKB activated to buy Dyrachyo, but a Glimmer Cape might just get moved out of here. Dyrachyo searching, won't find anything. Ace, he's not going to jump in. No need to at this point in time. They still cannot hit that bottom lane, that final lane of barracks just yet. There's still this tier 2 in their way. So.
Yeah, look at the top wave. Hector got it all the way in. So you have a catapult pressuring the tier 2 for gaming right now that Dyrachyo has to go back and clean up here. I like that fight a lot better than some of these other pickoffs though, right? Especially the one we saw right by their tier 3 that translated into breaking that base first. You take a fight on gaming side of the map, even if it goes a little wrong for you like that, you're not getting punished for it. And now maybe you can create an opening elsewhere with Dyrachyo having gone back to the other side of the map. Gaming missing some heroes here.
Yeah, this is a big slip up here for Gaimin Gladiators if they lose these heroes. There's so many from Nouns being brought to the table. They need to be able to lock down Ace, but he's so tanky and he had the mobility. The Force Staff, they're gonna try and hit this Terrorize onto Quinn. Couldn't roll up in time. Gets hit by that first. The chain stuns are here. Gunnar locks it down, and there's another pickup for Nouns. Another breath for Nouns to take in this game.
That's a very big one, and it's a great read of the map. This is all Hector setting that up. He gets that top lane in, you take a fight, nobody dies, it gives you room, and then you get to punish on the other side of the map with Gaming not respecting the fact that, hey, there's an unlimited chase down hero on the side of Nouns, right? That is the power that Earth Spirit gives you with the new stones.
Yep.
Gunner's gonna chase you, he's gonna catch you, he's gonna sink somebody into the dirt here. That's more gold into Hector's pocket, more damage coming online. If you can get to the full Silver Edge here, all of a sudden your front line goes away if you're Tidehunter.
Right.
The control can suddenly be there. You can chain stun Ace. The armor's still going to be a problem, but you're starting to find the solutions here. And this lead back down to 9K. This is all you're trying to do in the game right now if you're Nouns. Keep the economic damage to a minimum and prevent Gaming from getting to that last lane of Rax, which is going to make the game a real uphill battle if they get a free Megas.
But you know, Gaimin Gladiators, they see these pickoffs, and it is a wake-up call for them. They're going to go ahead and try and clean up the lanes, but they're also going to group up a little bit more.
Gunnar trying to break the smoke here. Does get scanned, so Ace knows.
Roll away. Is it in time? Gets him on the anchor. Nobody's going to be able to deal with this. Oh, good Force Staff down to the cliff. They need to be able to deal with this anchor still. Earth Spirit this far away. He still has that heart. He's pretty tanky, but Dyrachyo is shredding him pretty quickly. Does manage to roll outside and into his base. Dyrachyo just not quite in front of him. And that's going to be a BKB used.
Yeah, that's all the way down to 6 seconds already. It doesn't feel like we've seen a fight where he got to use it at all. And it's down to the minimum. That's how much Nouns have been cutting out this fight. And another fight where Ace did not want to pull the trigger on the Ravage there. Feels like Gunnar's either slightly too tanky or maybe he has a buyback and they get in a weird, awkward position. But like you're talking about breathing room, that's some more breathing room right now for Nouns as they hold this game steady. And now they're looking for their own pickoff. Once more, Gunnar will find the catch.
With this beautiful combination, Bedlam rolling boulder, but the heroes are tanky. He got off the pipe, and now it's a problem. Gunnar, half health, rolling thunder, completely chain setting him down. No way to be able to get out. Now it's a scrambling here. K1 Hector, he's going to be in some trouble. He's
buyback
off
from
the
Gunnar.
trying to fight back into these heroes, but he is lacking in the teammates to do so. The buybacks are going to be coming in. They do manage to get off the Sunder, but immediately time-lapse rectifies that bit of damage. Gunnar rolls back in. It's the stun, but K1 Hector needs to be able to retreat. This Tidehunter is constantly playing in his face, constantly slowing him down.
Man.
And K1 Hector, he's going to go for a desperate TP away. The damage are going to come too quickly, though. And now Nouns are left perhaps broken as they have 3 heroes dead with no buyback, and they do not have the lanes pushed in either.
Yeah, that's exactly what Gunnar is trying to do right now. He says, Yamsun, make as much space as possible. I will try and clear up some lanes with this buyback that yielded nothing. There's just no damage on the board here. Ace just runs through all of them, does not give a damn.
Yeah, but
dyrachyo gets to clean up.
It's just so much different, right? The
Yes.
pickoffs on the Pango when he's alone, sure, damage looks okay, but then you get these 5 heroes all grouped up around this pipe and these auras.
And that was a fight where Gunnar found the Chen first. This is supposed to be the target you want to kill at the start of a fight. 2,000 HP with pipe, Vlad Solar. It's not even that easy. Hell, even the Ogre Totem doing some work here for Seleri. He's just way too beefy. This is a beautiful Chen game right now as you are running out of damage. If you ever had it on the side of Nouns, that's going to be a 31-minute megas.
And I love the fact that they just back away immediately. They're going to deal with further objectives. They've got Tormentor. They've got Roshan coming up. They are not going to give an opening to Nouns and let them climb back into the game like they did earlier. Learning from those mistakes, they stay grouped up, and they will back away. Roshan is going to be spawning in just 15 seconds time. And Nouns, well, they're going to have to be playing against Megas for the rest of the game.
Well, we have seen our fair share of megas come back at TI.
True, but I'm not sure if I've seen any this early. 32-minute mega creep.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
If Nouns is going to make that comeback, it's going to be a long haul game. It's going to be another 40 minutes or something like that, which we've seen a lot of those games. But again, Gaimin Gladiators, that's just not their MO. They don't let you get to those late games if they can help it, and they're a great position to be able to end it as they take this Roshan, get the extra Aegis and cheese. One final push is all it can take.
I also just don't see what's changing the paradigm in terms of Ace walking into 5 of you and going, what's up? Yeah, I mean, what has been the answer from the entire game? And it's supposed to be this silver edge on Hector. I think that's the one big difference maker here. Get the break in, and then all of a sudden you can stack the magic damage, the magnetize, all these debuffs on Ace. Maybe you have a chance of bringing the Titan down. But damn, it's just gotten delayed here as Hector is still searching for the damage, still searching for the levels as well. When you don't win the fights like this, you just fall behind. He's only level 16.
Yeah, and we're seeing the
17.
The carry ability of the Weaver. You talked about how this hero scales so much better than maybe it used to. He's got an MKB complete, and he's now level 20, so he's got the plus 90 Geminate attack damage.
Plus the shard. This is just a huge power point for dyrachyo. Absolutely going to shred all 5 of you in the fight if he just gets the Sakuchi through. Nouns will take the smoke wrap. Pretty heads-up play if they can find the supports on the backside.
What are they looking for here?
Grimstroke, Chen, that's it. Gotta find the squishies, take them out, get a numbers advantage.
Supports are bust, but they have the scan. Gaimin Gladiators made the read, and now they know they're outside of position here. They're immediately gonna pounce on it. Gaimin Gladiators read you like a book, and they will slam that book shut as they get these 2 pickups, and into the base they go to now finish it off.
Quinn just burning Hector's man out as well. I mean, everything is around Ace. Go with Ace. Follow his jumps. The man has led you very far. He'll continue to lead you farther here.
Once again, it's underused. Gunnar, he just has to go in, but shredded. That heart doesn't mean anything for him anymore.
So much for a tanky meta. Yeah, game 1 in the books here with a very